Here's something that might shock you. More than 300 million people globally have anxiety disorders, and over 280 million have depression, according to the World Health Organization. Mental health challenges are also rising among young people worldwide. That's not exactly a pretty picture of happy people on a happy planet. But what if I told you there's a scientifically backed way to literally rewire your brain for happiness? And it's so simple that a 3-year-old can do it. In fact, research shows it might be more powerful than any antidepressant on the market. The problem with how we think about happiness. Most people are chasing happiness completely backwards. We think happiness comes from getting things: more money, better relationships, perfect bodies, dream jobs. But here's the brutal truth. That's exactly why so many of us are miserable. Look around you. People have more access to comfort, entertainment, and opportunities than any generation in human history. Yet, anxiety and depression rates are skyrocketing. Why? Because we are wired to believe that happiness is something we achieve by accumulating stuff for ourselves. This mindset creates what researchers call the hedonic treadmill. You get something you want, feel good for a moment, then quickly return to your baseline happiness level and start chasing the next thing. It's an endless cycle that keeps millions of people stuck in perpetual dissatisfaction. The scary part, we are teaching the next generation the same broken approach. They watch us stress about getting ahead, acquiring more, and competing with others. They are learning that happiness is something you earn through personal achievement and consumption, the science that changes everything. But here's where it gets interesting. Neuroscientists have discovered something that completely flips this script. Our brains are actually hardwired for something entirely different, and when we tap into it, the results are extraordinary. When researchers study people's brains while they're giving to others, something remarkable happens. Multiple systems activate simultaneously. First, endorphins flood your system, creating what scientists call the helper's high, a natural euphoria that's more potent than many drugs. Your oxytocin levels spike, releasing the same hormone that bonds mothers to their babies. And here's a kicker: your cortisol levels plummet. That's your stress hormone basically disappearing. But it gets even better. Studies show that people who give regularly live longer, have stronger immune systems, and show significantly lower rates of depression and anxiety. One study followed 2,000 people for 5 years and found that those who helped others were 40% less likely to develop high blood pressure. I mean, shoot, even when I hold the elevator door for someone, I instantly feel a surge of happiness. Think about it for a second. We are spending billions on therapy, medication, and self-help trying to fix our mental health, while the solution might be as simple as shifting our focus outward. Why this works when everything else fails. Here's what most people don't understand about happiness. It's not an emotion you can chase directly. It's a byproduct of living in alignment with how your brain is designed to function. For thousands of years, humans survived by taking care of each other. The people who helped their community were more likely to receive help when they needed it. So our brains evolved to literally reward us with feel-good chemicals when we give to others. But modern society has created an environment where we are constantly focused on ourselves. Social media shows us highlight reels that makes us feel inadequate. Consumer culture tells us we need more stuff to be happy. We are living in direct opposition to our brain's natural wiring. This is why traditional approaches to happiness often fail. You can't think your way out of depression. You can't buy your way to fulfillment. But you can literally rewire your neural pathways by consistently engaging in the behavior your brain was designed to reward. And here's something crucial. This isn't about grand gestures or donating massive amounts of money. The research shows that small consistent acts of giving are actually more powerful than occasional big ones. Your brain responds to frequency, not the magnitude. The simple system that changes everything. So how do you tap into this? There's a method that's been tested with 5,000 children in 25 schools, and the results are remarkable. Teachers report happier classrooms, reduced behavioral problems, and kids who are more connected to their communities. It's called the daily giving practice, and it works like this. Step 1, identify one small way to give each day. This could be as simple as holding a door open, sending an encouraging text, picking up litter, or donating something you don't need. The key word is small. We're not talking about life-changing commitments here. Step 2, make it specific and measurable. Instead of be nice to people, try compliment one person each day, or help one neighbor with something. Specificity makes it easier to follow through and recognize when you have completed your daily gift. Step 3, track your mood. This isn't required, but many people find it helpful to notice how they feel before and after their daily giving act. The connection becomes clear very quickly. Step 4. Start ridiculously small if daily feels overwhelming. Start with once a week. If that feels like too much, start with once a month. The goal is consistency, not perfection, real world results. The results of this approach are documented across multiple studies and real world applications. In schools where this practice was implemented, teachers noticed several changes. Children became more collaborative and less competitive with each other. Classroom conflicts decreased significantly. Students showed increased empathy and better emotional regulation. Most importantly, the overall atmosphere became more positive and supportive. But this isn't just about the kids. Adults who adopt this practice report similar benefits: reduced anxiety, better sleep, improved relationships, and a greater sense of purpose. One study found that people who volunteered regularly showed brain activity similar to those taking antidepressants. There's even research showing that witnessing acts of kindness triggers the same neurochemical response as performing them. This creates a ripple effect. When you give to others, you are not just helping yourself, you are potentially improving the mental health of everyone who observes your actions. Why most people won't do this? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people won't implement this, even though the science is clear and the method is simple. Why? Because we're conditioned to believe that focusing on ourselves is the path to happiness. We've been taught that giving to others means sacrificing our own well-being. That generosity is something we do when we have extra time, money, or energy. But the research shows the opposite. Giving to others actually increases our resources by improving our mental and physical health. Another barrier is that our culture rewards individual achievement over collective well-being. We celebrate people who grind and hustle for personal success, while viewing those who prioritize helping others as naive or weak. But consider this: the people who report the highest levels of life satisfaction aren't the ones with the most money or achievements. They are the ones with the strongest relationships and the deepest sense of contribution to something larger than themselves. The bigger picture. This isn't just about individual happiness. If enough people adopted this practice, we could literally transform society. Imagine if helping others became as automatic as brushing your teeth. The math is staggering. If just 1% of the global population committed to one daily act of kindness, that would be 80 million acts of giving every single day. The ripple effects would be immeasurable. But it starts with individuals making a simple choice. You don't need to wait for anyone else to begin. You don't need permission, special skills, or significant resources. You just need to decide that you're going to live in alignment with how your brain is designed to function. This approach also addresses one of the biggest challenges of modern life: the feeling of powerlessness. When we are constantly consuming news about problems we can't control, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and helpless. But giving to others, even in small ways, reminds us that we have agency that can make a positive impact. The challenge. So here's my challenge to you. Try this for just 1 week. 7 days of one small act of giving. Nothing that requires money you don't have or time you can't spare. Hold a door open for someone. Send a text to someone you appreciate. Pick up a piece of litter. Compliment a stranger. Let someone go ahead of you in line. The specific action doesn't matter as much as the consistency. And here's what I predict will happen. By day 3, you will notice a shift in how you feel. By day 7, you'll understand why this works better than any happiness hack you have ever tried. The best part, unlike most self-improvement strategies, this one doesn't require you to change who you are or develop new skills. It just requires you to remember that you are part of something bigger than yourself. Your brain knows this. Your body knows this. The only thing standing between you and significantly improved mental health is the decision to align your actions with your biology. The research is clear. Giving to others is the most reliable path to personal happiness. It's not a theory or a philosophy. It's measurable neuroscience. We're living in a time where mental health struggles are at an all-time high. While the solution might be remarkably simple, not easy because it requires going against cultural conditioning, but simple in its execution. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or figure out the perfect way to give. Start today, start small, start with whatever feels manageable. Because here's the truth that changes everything. Happiness isn't something you achieve for yourself. It's something that emerges when you remember that your well-being is connected to everyone else's. The world needs more people who understand this. The question is, will you be one of them? Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, do like and subscribe as it helps to spread the word of kindness and happiness to others. We most definitely need more of that in today's world. And check out the links down below if you're interested.